Call David McClendon of Absolut Air for year-round comfort in the home or office. 386-6511. Here's what Greg Guy of Port Arthur has to say about Absolut Air and David McClendon.
He came out probably the first time and he said, well, you've got a little pinhole leak. You know, I can put some Freon in it and probably make it last the rest of the season, or we can change it, you know, now. And I thought, let's just patch it and make it last. And it did. He told me, he said, well, you might make it to the end of the season. You're going to need a new one. And it made it through the end of the season, but sure enough, the next spring, the first heat wave we had, I called him and said, come change it. Just what you said, and so he did.
It's safe to say that David McClendon of Absolut Air has another satisfied customer in Greg Guy of Port Arthur.
I would say that he's real honest, he's timely, he's a good guy. He'll tell you what your issue is. He won't try to sell you something that you don't need. But if you do need it, he's there to change it for you and can get it done.
Dennis Malonzo of Rose City is another satisfied Absolut Air customer.
What impressed me most about David is that his vehicle was clean, no dents, scratches, or anything. You know, I always hate driving by company vehicles and there's dents all over the truck. It just makes me think that they don't care about their equipment. But that was the first impression that I got of David. And then once he approached me, he was very polite. You know, shook my hand and say, you know, what can I help you with? And at the time, my air conditioner condenser was out, and he fixed that. I called him after Hurricane Harvey. Once again, my contractor told me that it wasn't working. David came out the next day, and all it was some wiring issues. So once that was hooked back up, I was up and running, contractor was back in the house working.
And Beaumont's Don Pumphrey has called David McClendon and Absolut Air for several jobs.
David's a quiet, unassuming guy. He comes in, he does his work, does the job, and stands behind what he does. And that's one of the qualities I most admire about David and his work. He and Absolut Air have done some work for a lot of organizations that I'm familiar with and work with. And so I would highly recommend his service because he's a man of his word. Had a unit go out, I think it was a capacitor that went bad, but gave him a call, and within a couple of hours he was here and got the job done and went about his way. And he's done some work at our parish and several jobs at our parish, some nice sized jobs, and he's always reliable and dependable.
Call Absolut Air for year-round comfort in your home or office. Here's what Greg Guy of Port Arthur has to say about Absolut owner David McClendon.
I would say that he's real honest, he's timely, he's a good guy. He'll tell you what your issue is. He won't try to sell you something that you don't need. But if you do need it, he's there to change it for you and can get it done.
For absolute comfort, call Absolut Air, 386-6511. Professional, honest, and reliable. Absolut Air. Still to come, Paul Thorne will be in the Royal Spotlight. Sponsored by Bradley's Collision Center in Port Neches. But next, we'll air the Southeast Texas debut of Antonio More's new video as our Absolut Air music clip of the week. Here comes this week's Honky Tonk Texas Fabulous Flashback.
G.G. Shin, we're at the benefit for Jerry LaCroix. Of course, he passed away recently, very sad.
Yeah.
He's a good friend of yours, and you worked with him for many years.
Yeah, and he was in, not only did Jerry and I work together in the Boogie Kings, and I had started in the Boogie Kings a couple of years before Jerry. And I left the group and formed a group called the Roller Coasters. And then Jerry came with me in the Roller Coasters. In other words, we kept working, then we split up. He went with White Trash, I went with Chase, and I narrowly escaped going down with the Chase plane. The plane crashed and killed the whole band. But I went home to South Louisiana to visit my mother, and I wasn't on the plane, so I was lucky. So this is a business of luck, too.
King of the road.
That was this week's Honky Tonk Texas Fabulous Flashback. For over 10 years, Honky Tonk Texas in Silsbee has been the Southeast Texas headquarters for live music, dancing, dining, drinking, pool, and much more. Visit their Facebook page for upcoming Honky Tonk Texas concerts. Tickets available now at Honky Tonk Texas or online at honkytonktexas.us. Dance the night away at Honky Tonk Texas and dine on their delicious dinners. Honky Tonk Texas is celebrating 10 fun-filled years in Southeast Texas. Where have you been?